This video is going to be how to change the power steering pump on a 2001 S10 pickup. It's still in good shape for an 01. We had an issue with the steering leaking. The power steering cooler is actually behind the grill. It's behind the grill. The grill comes off by clips. You just undo the clips. It's behind the headlights. You get them off, and it takes the turn signal lights with it, so you end up looking like that. But there's the cooler. It's just a zigzag of lines, and there's our problem. It's leaking right there. So the lines go from the rubber hose to the metal hose out that way. We're going to undo the lines here and here, put a loop in it, and bypass that silly cooler just so we can get her running. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is open them lines and drain the fluid, because you want your lines to be flushed with clean fluid before you get your new one set up. It's just able to pull the lines right off. You just give them a good yank and twist and they came right off. And we're going to do a loop on them just to get this guy back running down the road. The other lines here and here, it's hard to see. Let's turn some light on. See a little bit. And of course your metal lines. I'm just going to let them drain. These are going to be cut out of the way, the metal lines that came off. These hoses, I'm just letting them drain. They're going to drain right down there, right to the oil pan that I got underneath, as you can see. And next up is getting the belt off on this motor. This whole air tank assembly's got to come off from there over to here. That comes over to the intake box, which I already took off. And these are held on by these plastic clips that slide. There's the other side of that one, so I'm going to start doing that. Undo the screw clamp on this one and get that off. I'm attempting to do step by step so you can see this, but this clamp here, it holds the AC line on, and another line just flips right up. And you can loosen these up out of the way. I got my side cutters and a pair of pliers. This side you can see it's got the slide there. The gravity's working really good over here. This is what's going to be popped up, which is easy. This whole thing slides over, and I got to undo that screw next, so I'll have to come back. Okay, then there's one more hidden hose right down here. You can see where I'm at. It even looks like somebody never tightened that clamp up before. But that's got to get released. But you see where the clamp is laying there. That ain't something I did. Somebody left it that way. This thing must have had really poor performance, where you don't have all your air system locked in tight. I don't even know if this has a mass airflow sensor on it. It probably doesn't, being this old. But now we got to work on getting that out from down there. So I'll have to come back and put you on hold a second. Here comes my helper. He's running really fast. Slow down, Ray. Of course, once you get that undone, your cross piece here comes out. It looked like I'm on enhanced a little too much. I'm zoomed in. But then there's the intake air temperature sensor. Somebody has taped it up for some reason. So there's been some fine, lovely work done to this thing. So I'm going to untape that and unplug it and see why they have that taped up. I can see where they had the tape on it. They broke the clip off that holds it in place. But Christ, you could even wire tie it or something, either a little bit professional instead of just taping the crap out of it. We'll unplug that. Wow, this is really zoomed in for some reason. It should just come right apart. Just like that. And your part is free. And that's our plug for the intake air temperature. There's your pump assembly, but we still got to get the belt off, which is way down there. We'll get some light on the subject. Okay, one of them two is an idler and the other one's a tensioner. I'll have to dig in there or closer to see which one we got to loosen up to get the belt off. Okay, the plastic tube where the air intake crossover piece attached to, I'll move the radiator hose out of the way, and that'll come right up out of the way and give us a lot more room. Why they did that, nobody knows. But now I got room. You can see where I got the ratchet on the tensioner. It's a 3/8. Of course, my phone wants to shut off for no apparent reason, but it's back on. I'm trying to use a phone to do this, and it's very hard to use one hand. But all you had to do is get on it, pull that way. I had enough tension. And I pulled the belt off of that side. I just got to get my ratchet back. Snap-on ratchets are a little expensive to be leaving in a car. So I got to get tension back on it, and I got to try using a pry bar just to get my ratchet back. It looks like it fit in there with one. If I can get all the way down in there, I'm going to have to set the phone down to do that. Okay, I got the return line hose clamp pulled off out of the way, and this should just pull right off here. And it's a return line coming up from where we undid it. We'll set that aside, blow it clean with the air line first, and then run some fluid for it, make sure it's completely clean. And you can see it's just a little knob that comes out the bottom. That's the return line. Now we got to get to the pump screws. So I got to turn this off while I do that. Like I said, they are hidden inside. You can see the one right there. It's peeking its head out. There's one up here peeking its head out. So I can't hold the camera and do the same thing. So I have to stop. You can see I'm getting the bolts. There's 3 of them. I got them loosened up. And we'll go from there. Once I get them bolts out, I'll take it to the next step. Okay, I'm on the last bolt here. Sometimes you can't get them out. You have to use a magnet. What the frig is with this focus on this thing? This camera sucks. I should say the phone sucks. I get it back in focus. Sometimes they come right out with your socket. If they don't, that one did. So that's the 3rd one I got out. Of course, I put them in a tray. Now I gotta fight with the rest of it to get it off, so I'll get back after I do that. Okay, I'm taking the power steering, not the power steering, the air conditioning off. The compressor's got to come off. There's 2 bolts back there. You can see the holes for that. There's one up front there. And we got a bracket that's got to come out of the way. So I'm in the process of taking that all out. Okay, the AC swung out of the way, no issue. Just unplug your plug. 1 bolt here, 1 bolt up here. The other 2 in the back were real simple. They swung out of the way, no issue. Now that we're down to this part. This is your power steering pump. Behind that, where my other finger is, 1 bolt, and underneath is another bolt. That looks like you got to climb through the side here. And go through the back side and reach all the way up to the 2 to get them out. I don't know how else you're going to do it, other than using a torch and cutting the bracket. On the bottom bolt of that bracket that you can't see, I get a fixator somewhere. Here's the bottom of the bracket. I got in there with a deep 13 1/4-inch drive with the smallest ratchet I got. And I actually can reach it. So that's the last bolt that's coming out. I just can't believe they built something like this. No access. Unbelievable. Alright, I'll get back to you when I got that out. Here's the pump finally out. I gotta change the reservoir. These clips, I never changed them before, but it looks like you get a screwdriver up underneath it and slide it right out. Well, I'll attempt that and see what happens. Okay, once you get the clips off, the reservoir comes right off. And that's a little goober that holds it back into the old gooberette. And it looks like it's got a seal in it. It comes with a new seal in the kit. There's one for that in your power steering. That's your high pressure side. That you make sure you clean out really well. And the threaded part that's still on the hose. That's hard to tell, but it looks in okay condition, but that's getting changed anyway. So I gotta take it to the bench and pull the pulley. And this is the setup on how you pull the pulley off the shaft. Hold it with a 21 millimeter. And you grab hold of that and just crank it. And you keep going until it lifts right off the pulley. I can't do it one-handed, so I'll get back when it's done. Okay, when you're trying to put your new pulley on, I sprayed it with a little bit of silicone spray right on the shaft itself, so the pulley will slide on there. Get your pulley set up to start. And here's your put-her-on-her tool. It's threaded, so it goes into the center and starts threading. You want to get as many threads in there as you can. Back that up if you have to. And thread it till it actually stops. It stopped. That goes down. And we'll go to the next step. Okay, I got it in the vise. I gotta use 11/16. Just gonna go on her and tighten her down. I just gotta hold on to this with another socket or ratchet. I should set up a socket for it. And when I turn this, hold this part still, it'll force the pulley on. Okay, your pulley's bottomed out until you can't turn no more, so it's on. The stud comes up through just a little bit, just the way it was. So it's all set. That's the kit that we rented from AutoZone. Here's your put-her-on-her tools, and here's your take-her-off-her threads, depending on what size thread your pump is. Just by cranking that down, pushes the pulley on. Very simple. Of course, before you go back up, put it together, make sure you got your fittings on top of here, what you need for your high pressure line. And this one comes with the new one, so we're good there. This is the old pump here. This is the new one. It comes with a new seal in the bag. I gotta put that on yet, but always match up. Make sure you get all the parts off your old part and put on here before you return this one for the core. And of course, I like to put the plugs that come off the new one back in the old one to keep it from just leaking while it's in the bag. Push that one's good. And we're gonna try to put the pump cover on. Okay, put the reservoir back on with a new O-ring. I sprayed the O-ring up with the silicone, of course. Whatever kind of silicone you got works. I used that. And I pushed it on. You give it a couple of bumps, make sure it's on. Our tabs went on fairly easy. I just took the hammer, bumped it on, and you'll see the little center tab drop down in, so you know it's up against the wall, and it can't come back off. So it's real simple putting it back together. Giggity. So the next step is put it back in the car. I gotta charge my battery first. Okay, to install the pump, I jammed it down in place. I started with these bolts, still tightening these up, and doing my hand. The phone will stop having a fit and focus, you giggity son of a bleep. Right, those are still fairly loose, because I gotta try to get the back ones behind this damn bracket here, which is gonna be joyful, and hopefully that they line up. I can barely feel the hole, but you know you're gonna drop that bolt about 67 times before you get the damn thing in there. I'm gonna start doing that, so I gotta put this down. Of course, I'm getting the top bolt there. I got my ratchet in there. It's just starting to get it tight now, but it's hard to tighten good with a 1/4-inch drive. This phone don't focus, I'm gonna throw it in the garbage. But that one's tight, that's the top bolt. On this one, there's a 1/4-inch drive, 1/4-inch extension. The actual adapter to go from 1/4 to 3/8, and then a 3/8 short socket, which is a 13. But I got that some bits tightened from the back of the top one. On the bottom one, all I gotta do is 1/4-inch right to the deep socket here. I'm gonna set this down and tighten that one. Okay, I got the bypass set up. This is the bypass I'm going to use, just a loop. And it's just going to tie right back up to the bottom of the pump. It's a return line, so we just flared the iron, just barely did a flare on each end. Hose clamp, good enough to hold it. My phone still does not want to focus. Now the next thing we got to do is get the belt on, get the fluid in it, bleed it, and put the air box all the way back together, which is a pain. And of course, part of the finishing steps is tightening up the lines. I got the little stubby wrench in there, seems to fit pretty good. Giggity, that was tight. You gotta just keep going up the pulley every time you do it. That's why it's kind of hard, but she's starting to tighten up now. But that's got the new seal on the end of the line, and the new seal went between the pump and the motor itself too. That is just a must that you gotta make sure those are changed. It looks like I'm bottomed out, so we'll double check, make sure this is tight. Yep, that's bottomed. That's all I can do. Yeah, she definitely is tight. With the new seal, you're guaranteed to seal it. I guess that's what a seal does, is seal up stuff. That's why they call it a seal. Damn, giggity. We got the airbox assembly on, put over there. Over to this side, I left it empty so I could fill our fluid reservoir. And we're gonna zip tie that to something to hold it still. Oh, I don't like to focus on this camera, it sucks.